This becomes so familiar when we begin the practice to tune in to our surroundings and then to notice what's happening inside of us. Notice the internal environment, if there's a lot of calm, if there's a lot of agitation, or if there's a racing mind or some quiet. Our experience always changes day to day. And notice that all of this is being observed or witnessed by a different level of the mind, a different layer of the mind. And notice where that observation is happening, what space it's occupying. It's generally in or around the head somewhere. We're aware of ourselves, we're aware of our body and our breath and our thoughts. At least some of the time. We all have the capacity for it. And let's rest here for a moment, noticing the body, the breath, the thoughts, and that we are observing them. And without a great deal of effort or even concentration particularly, we're also noticing what's happening in the body. We're allowing muscles to relax. We might be allowing the shoulders to settle away from the ears. We might be working with the breath. And notice that all of this is happening in a space of awareness. There's a physical space here too, the space our body is occupying and the space that we're observing from. And then bring your awareness into your forehead. Notice the muscles of your forehead and your eyebrows, even the corners of your eyes, your eyelids. Focus on the top part of the front of your face, around to the temples as well. Notice what's happening on the surface. In front of the bone of the forehead, there's the muscles, the nerves, the eyebrows, the forehead. And every time that you relax, take a little bit more of a deeper exhalation. Relax a little bit more. See if you can allow this softening to continue as you exhale. And kind of hold as you inhale, not to tighten up again on the inhale. And soften some more as you breathe out. And then notice what's happening in your thoughts, especially if there's any worry or anxiety in your mind. Bring your attention to that for a moment. And bring your attention back to your forehead muscles, the softness of the muscles. Try to hold both in your awareness at the same time. If your mind is quiet and you're not really worrying about anything, you could even bring up a common worry, something you were worrying about yesterday or before we started. Let that really come into full awareness for a moment. Notice the details. Notice if there's an image, what the colors and shapes are. If it's a look on someone's face. Notice also words. If there's words there, notice them. Either the sound of them or if they're written out on a page. And then go back to the softness of the forehead and see if you can keep the worry sharp in your mind as well as the softness of the muscles of your eyebrows. From the center of your forehead out to the temples. And if you notice that worry or anxious thoughts are coming back, focus on them again for a moment and then focus on the softening of your eyebrows, your forehead, the muscles of the eyes. And notice the flow of breath in the nostrils. Sometimes we work with that practice of so hum, inhaling, listening to the sound so, exhaling hum. As we let our awareness flow between the base of the nose where the nostrils meet the upper lip and the eyebrow center. Letting the sound and the breath be continuous and smooth. Letting our awareness flow between those 2 points. Inhaling so, exhaling hum. Like an orchestra, we're bringing in different pieces, different notes. We're noticing the forehead and the softness of muscles and eyebrows and eyes. We're noticing flow of breath and the sound that might be flowing with our awareness of the breath. Also bring your attention to your mouth and jaw, the tongue, the root of the tongue, and the throat, vocal cords. If there's any tightness or holding or contraction in your jaw, move your lower jaw around a little bit, allow that whole area to soften. You might be drawn back into one of the previous concentrations, maybe the flow of breath, maybe the softening with the worry. We don't have to hold it all in our awareness at once. Sometimes we attend to a particular element. And we are working with an intention to not follow the wanderings of the mind. When we find that's happening, bring the mind back. Focus on the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the flow of breath, the mouth and jaw. Down into the neck and the shoulders as well. Let your shoulders really soften and settle away from the ears. We have this awareness of what's happening in the face and in the head and neck. Notice that some of that is on the surface, some of it is internal. The feeling of wetness in the mouth is internal. The breath is both external and internal. Worry tends to be internal. Same as other thoughts. And notice if there's anything else drawing your attention in the area of your head. There might be an internal tightness or contraction. You might be really focusing on the sounds coming in through the ears. There's really no right or wrong way to have our experience. And we can also acknowledge that we have preferences. We all appreciate a quieter mind than a busier one. We appreciate open space, no pain. Smooth, relaxed breathing. Bring your attention down into the rest of your body as well. Notice your back of your neck, the top of the shoulders, the back of your shoulders. All those muscles in the back, the large muscles of the back. Note if there's any energy of protection or contraction. And if you don't really need to protect yourself in this moment, if you're safe for a few more minutes in the environment that you're in, notice that and allow those muscles to relax. Let that habitual standing guard take a rest. And notice your arms and your legs, your front, your back, your whole body. Notice if anything's changed since you left, so to speak, since you weren't paying attention to it. Notice that you're still observing. There's a part of the mind that is not embroiled in the experience, that's witnessing or observing what's happening. And notice the space where this is all occurring. Notice if the space is exactly finished at the end of your body, or if there's a sense of a sharp cutoff, since it's more open. Whatever your experience is, notice that. Do you end where your body ends, at the end of the boundaries of your body? Is that the end of the space where you are? Or is your experience something else? Again, no right or wrong answers. We're just looking. Notice your being. Notice that we experience our bodies, our breath, our energy, our thoughts. We have a sense that this is me. Or my experience. And before we finish the practice, notice that you can come back at any time during the day. Set your intention to do that you're going to come back. Notice what's happening in your experience in that moment. We can do that through the breath, through focus on the body for a moment, through watching our mind, but somehow bringing our attention back into this observing that we're doing. Noticing what it is that we're experiencing in the moment. And that we can do that throughout the day. And notice what's drawing your attention again. If it's the mind, part of the body, if you're wandering a little bit in your mind. Thinking about later in the day maybe, when you're going to touch back into this.